Thanks for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News. And today we're going to find out a little bit more about Brenda Guerrero.
Yes.
You want to be a judge?
Yes, I
Circuit
do.
Court judge.
Yes.
I'm going to read some of the things you've done here. It's quite impressive. You worked in the state attorney's office as assistant state attorney for 10 years. You're the mother of two. You're the president of the Dominican American Bar Association. You're an appointed guardian ad litem. You volunteer as an attorney for domestic violence organization, and you volunteer as an attorney judge with the Miami-Dade Teen Court. That's a lot of stuff.
And I'm a member of ESAC,
Which is
a member that makes decisions in South Miami Middle. And so I sit on the board.
It's incredible the community service that you provide. Yes, it's an opportunity for working, but you could have picked really not to do this. Why do you want to become a judge?
Well, because I have been helping the community for over 12 years. I've been an attorney for 17 years. And I think that as a judge, I will be able to make a bigger impact than what I've been doing now thus far in my career.
So what is it like when you're in these positions and you make a decision that somebody on the other side is going to try to find fault in what you do? What is that like? How do you process that?
As far as in a judge capacity?
Yes.
Well, you have to be able to handle it, because not everyone's going to be happy when they walk out of your courtroom as far as a decision that
even
you make.
the second place ones?
Even the second place ones. I just want that when people walk out of my courtroom, they understand that the decision that I made, as far as a well thought out decision, that I listened to them, that they saw that I listened to them, that I'm not distracted during the hearing or the trial, and that the law that I applied is based on the facts that was presented to me, the evidence, and that I respected them. And so even if they're not happy with my decision at the end of the day, they understand why the decision was made.
And so for people on the other side, to be able to say, I was heard, and I hear that conversation a lot with people in the mental health arena, with people that are going to doctors, people that are going to lawyers, I want somebody to hear me. And so they're represented by counsel, and you want, as I think almost all the judges do, if not all of them, they want to put the facts on the table, what can get in, what cannot get in, and then a decider make a choice there. And for the uninitiated, what's the difference between a county court judge and a circuit court judge?
Well, a county court judge is a lower level court. We have county court, circuit court, appellate court, and Florida Supreme Court at the state level. So circuit court judge is a judge that practices or presides over cases in the general jurisdiction. And for example, a circuit court judge will preside over cases if it's criminal, that's a felony, that the sentence is 1 year or longer, up to the death penalty. That's, for example, in criminal court. Family court, it could be divorces, custody cases, domestic violence. Civil court, anything in controversy, lawsuit that what you're asking for the damages is $30,000 or more. Probate court would also be another court that I would practice as a potentially circuit court judge. And the last court would be dependency court. At the county court level, you have criminal that presides over cases $30,000 or less. It's a lower level court. Landlord-tenant disputes. It could be also for domestic violence cases, but the civil side of it could also be county court. Criminal part of it, of the domestic violence side. And so it would be a lower level court.
So when you said dependency, meaning drug or alcohol dependency, or dependency as far as family unit?
Family unit for juveniles.
And when, should you be elected, the chief judge assigns you to one of those courts.
That is correct.
So you might be in family court. That's your assignment until some other time, or it might be criminal court or one of the other ones.
That is correct. The chief judge, the elections is next month, August 23rd, and the job would start in January of 2023. The chief judge will make the decision where there's a vacancy or a need. You get elected for 6-year terms, and you may serve your entire 6 years in one court, one division, or you may move after a certain period of time.
So the judge looks at, should you get elected, the chief judge looks at your background and says, okay, this is what she or he might be good at, and then we need help in this particular department.
Sort of. They don't always appoint you. It's not usual for the judge to appoint you to where you were practicing in before. So, for example, I have a family law firm now. So it's not an impossibility that I would be assigned there, but the probability is not very high because they try to assign you to a court where you don't practice immediately, that you didn't practice immediately before becoming a judge, just because you're familiar with the attorneys
Yeah,
there.
got to put some space in between that.
Yes.
And so we know that the court system appears to be finally back to its regular pre-pandemic. Was that a happy day when the court system started opening back up?
Well, it's not really opened up.
Mhm.
I practice family law right now, and we're not fully open. I still, probably since COVID began, I've been to the courthouse probably 3 times in person. Everything primarily for family court cases is, and for also, I believe, dependency cases is virtual.
So is that do you think that, not speaking as a lawyer, do you think that's like a permanent change?
No, I don't think it's permanent. I believe that slowly, soon, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm just from what I hear that they will continue with very simple motions, hearings, virtual, because people don't want to drive to downtown, pay parking, take time off work, and wait in the courtroom for their case to be heard. So I believe that the shorter hearings, the 5-minute motion calendars will be continue virtual trials or full evidentiary hearings. I believe they will go back to in-person hearings just because it's easier to present the evidence to the judge.
When we look at how people that we do business with in the community chambers of commerce, Zoom is wonderful, but the need, the desire for people to want to see each other, to touch each other, to congratulate them, maybe give them a hug or a handshake. We see that that's needed. And we certainly see that our young people, as well as their parents, have a need to be heard and to be connected and to resume life normal, whatever that may be. And is there a department that deals with mental illness, and if you're doing a family unit where young people are in the family unit and a professional can come along and then make a recommendation as far as the stability of the family?
Well, in the family court division, we in Miami, it's wonderful because we do have the family court services division, and it's basically everything is funded by the attorneys and people that want to contribute to that organization, and they have therapists there, and so if there's a juvenile that has a problem in a family in a family unit, they will have individual therapists. Some of them are free, and some of them are based on a sliding scale based on the parent's income. So Miami is very well equipped to help families to try to deal with a separation or divorce as best possible. And people go through difficult times when they're going through a custody battle or divorce, even including their children. And if there's a need for an individual therapist, a family therapist, Miami-Dade County has a wonderful program with family court services. They do have therapists. And a lot of times sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. It's based on the parent's income.
So we see the kind of stress that family units are under: employed, non-employed, government money, not government money, getting to work, not getting to work, and the stress it places on everybody. So I know that the county's been doing a better job, and so I hope that the county government improves mental health for everybody, especially the kids. So there are some judges that get appointed, and then some judges are elected. Who are the ones that get appointed, generally speaking, versus the ones that get elected, and why is it important for each one of those things, or either one of those things, to occur?
Well, in Florida, judges, the general rule is that they get elected. And every election, every 2 years, judges appear on the ballot. And Florida is the type of state that requires their judges to be elected. However, if during the 6-year term that you get elected for, you retire because you've been already a judge for many terms, or you quit for some reason, or you get fired, which doesn't happen often, then the governor has to appoint an interim temporary judge during the remaining term of the previous judge. And so that's the difference. Appointment is temporary until election time. Elected, you get elected for 6-year term, and that's what the law is.
Okay, and the Florida Supreme Court judges, is that an appointed position? Always?
Always appointed. You get appointed by the governor, And then every 2 years or every 3 years, you appear on the ballot, and then the voters decide if you're going to be retained.
And every 2 years, not the same judge every 2 years.
Every 2 years for the Florida Supreme Court and the appellate court.
Oh, no kidding. So when we see, do you want to retain the judges? And so I know when people get rambunctious, they say, whatever, no, 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 or yes, 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 yes. Why is it important, though, that judges get elected?
Because they generally, the chances of being unbiased, or I'm sorry, biased, is reduced because you get voted by the people from the community, from different parts of the community with different interests and different needs. And so if you get appointed by one person, the chances that you're going to be biased is reduced. And so the people have the choice to say, I want, and it represents the community, women, men. And so it's representative of the community, and also the chances of being biased are reduced.
So when people get appointed or elected, I've really never seen judges out talking about the law, all right, and as versus their state elected or the county elections. How do people find out about the candidates that are running for judge?
Well, you can go on the website, on the county website, and it's very informative. As a matter of fact, today or yesterday was a deadline to appear or give information for the candidates to appear on the voters registration or the voter list, so you can find out information about the candidates. And so we have so many forms right now. If you want to know about your candidate, we have to campaign. We're campaigning countywide. Just before coming over here, I was visiting an elderly center. We go to different events. We have interviews like the one I'm having here today. And so not only is it available on our website, every candidate has a website, I'm supposing. Generally, they have a website. So if you go to my website, you're going to read about me, my experience, what qualifies me to be a judge, and also different forums. There's many organizations that are having forums where the candidates get interviewed. And so you can tune into those candidate interviews.
When somebody's running for city commission or community council or county commission and statewide, typically the candidates address issues and they're able to talk about them because they want to do that. That's not the case with judges.
It is not. And that's something that, we have to teach our community when we're campaigning, that we do not, judges, candidate for judges cannot have a platform. We cannot speak about or give our opinions regarding issues that may come before us in court. And they get confused. They also don't understand that we're nonpartisan. They ask, what is your political party? And you have to tell them, we're nonpartisan, we're neutral. And they don't understand that. They think that we're trying to trick them sometimes. And you have to teach the voters that this is basically non-party affiliated, and that we can't give you our opinion because potentially may come up. And that's a big issue. That's a big problem if we do.
And so just for clarity, what are the rules concerning a trial that you've been a judge in or about to be?
Both. Regarding any issues, our opinion regarding any issue that may come before us in the future or that came before us in the past if we were judges. We're not allowed to give our opinion. The way to elect judges is essentially reading about their experience to see if they're diverse enough, if they have trial experience, court experience, if they have the demeanor to be a judge as well, based on your recommendations from other people, other attorneys, members of the community that have had contact with them out in the campaign trail, just the dynamic, meeting that candidate too.
If somebody wants to find out about you, they can go to your website where you can see testimonials and people that are in support of you. You've done over 1,500 trials.
Yes.
What does that mean? 1,500 trials. Is that like a half a day, 3 days? How do you do that many trials? You've been practicing for how long?
Nearly 17 years.
Okay.
Well, a lot of it came from when I was an assistant state attorney, because assistant state attorneys have a huge, huge caseload.
Yes. I know you probably can't say anything, but hey, Tallahassee, we need more money for our state attorneys. It's like people don't understand. I mean, even if you are committed to wanting to serve in a capacity, it is very difficult financially to do that. All right. And I've seen it up close. All right. And I hope that the state gives more money so that people on both sides, meaning the public defender and the state attorney, has more assets to be able to have justice occur in Miami-Dade County. So Miami-Dade County has over 3 million people. That probably does not include the undocumented people. That's huge.
Yes.
It's gigantic. I mean, and we are the state of Florida. I think is the fourth largest Miami-Dade in the country. All right, as far as voters, 22 million plus lots of other people. So with our big town here, why did you donate your time to the Dade Teen Court? Why is that important to you?
I think because if we start helping the young individuals, the young people from, at an early age, catch them at an early age, it reduces them making a mistake in the future, frees up the court system, and serves as a mentorship program. It empowers the teens. I love it because you see the transformation in the teenagers. They really want mentors. A lot of teenagers do not have a mentor to guide them, to give them advice, to teach them, even to a lot of them, some of them that are in teen court, not because they made a mistake. Some of them want to be attorneys later on, or they want to be able to public speak or speech and debate, or just get that confidence. So you feel so good speaking to these students and mentoring them and say, why did you do this? Whatever actions you're taking now, every decision you make has a consequence for good or bad. And so it empowers teenagers, and you really feel like you make a difference.
So Keona McGee, County Commissioner McGee, when he was a young man, he was a wrestler, and he wound up getting into a hassle with the policeman. He was arrested. He told me, and it's a public story, that was when he decided he wanted to become an attorney. And he said he became a prosecutor. And I go, why would you be a prosecutor? He says, because when that kid makes a mistake, I can help him out. Instead of sending him that way, you can send him this way. Very impressive. I get goosebumps when I think about that. Along in line with what you're saying is there's some little kids that are out there when he was doing that said, somebody gave me a chance. Somebody listened to me. Somebody understands what we're doing. And obviously it's very important that people see role models. If they can't find it within their community, in their household, in their neighborhood, to be able to look and see that there is a better life, for them.
And just to give you just a little bit of background story, one of the attorneys, they haven't made a mistake, they haven't been through this problem, but she wants to be an attorney, and she was one of the volunteer attorneys. That she was also either a prosecutor or defense attorney. She ended up being my mom's next door neighbor, and she's my mom's next door neighbor now. And for some reason, my mom got us connected and realized that I knew her from teen court. And, she's like, oh my God, I'm so appreciative to Brenda for helping me out and mentoring me. And they literally live next door to each other.
So when you heard that somebody said that about your efforts, what does that do to you and for you?
It makes me feel great. It really does, that I'm able to make a difference and impact. And she's asked me for help in finding a job as an attorney, helping an attorney and she's 15 during the summer. She's like, I want to be able to actually help you in your campaign. So she's very active at 15 years old, and not realizing that I actually saw her growing up, because when I go to my mom's house, she was there growing up. So it makes me feel wonderful.
So when did you recognize that you wanted to be a lawyer?
Actually, as an adult, I was doing my bachelor's in Barry University for paralegal studies. And that's when I was exposed to law. And I loved what I was learning. And I said, maybe I can be an attorney. Why not? And so it was my exposure to because I was actually studying to be a paralegal. I said, I can be an attorney. Why not? And so I changed my degree, and I decided, instead of being a paralegal, to become an attorney.
When you crossed over that line, there was some moment you said, maybe I can do that. It was this gigantic light that went off in your brain and go, I could do that.
Yes. Just like being a judge. I've always wanted to be a judge. But I've been doubtful when it's the right time to do it. And I've thought about it. But in January of this year, I literally woke up Martin Luther King weekend. And I woke up from bed that day and I said, I was meant to do this. there's no doubt in my mind I'm meant to do this.
As many kids that we've interviewed and spoke to that recognize that stuff a little, it's nice to hear that as an adult, you're not stuck to doing what you were doing yesterday. You can make a decision to move forward. And there's plenty of mentors that you can find, or you may even already have that in your life. You just don't recognize that as a mentor. I'm still friendly with the widow of one of my college professors. Yeah, that was a long time ago. We used to go over there. We would have a rocking good time, right? And when the widow, who's 88, she calls me not too long ago, Michael, I need your help. I'm thinking, there she is. She called me. I picked up the phone and called their adult children and grilled them. You need to get over and take care of your mother. She doesn't. I'm telling you, I was just at her house. She needs your help. I called the daughter and the son. So that's what the kind of impression that couple made on me as a young student. So we know that domestic violence throughout the country and throughout the world is tough, but in Miami-Dade County, we have our own issues that are here. People are getting beat up all the time, some severely. Besides the physical damage, emotionally, it just is traumatizing for people, whether you're this big or as an adult. What's your involvement with that?
Well, two different ways. I have a law practice. I have a family law practice, and I represent my clients in domestic violence cases. So that's part of my family law firm, what I do for a living. But in addition to that, I'm a volunteer attorney for an organization called No More Tears. And I represent clients in Miami and in Broward County that are victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. And I've been doing that for about 3 years through that organization. And so anything related to domestic restraining orders, that's the first thing that I do. And also divorces and also paternity cases. I represent the victims.
It must be heart-wrenching in your private practice or that you see these people that are getting, just brutalized, all right? And we know it's not just when somebody slaps you or pulls a gun on you. It's not just you. It's not just what's showing, but it's the whole family unit that suffers. If somebody tries to rob you, they're trying to rob you, and it's robbing everybody that you deal with, your family, your kids. And so it is traumatic, for everybody. And let's talk a little bit about the mental illness and the Baker Act and things, how to protect people. So what's your involvement with that?
Well, as far as Baker Act is concerned, I don't practice in that
Right.
courthouse. What I do is that I tell people if they are telling me, they call me for a consultation or they're a client and they tell me I am being abused, and it's physically abused, because unfortunately in Florida, mental abuse or verbal abuse is not considered domestic violence. I tell them, sometimes you don't need an attorney to get a restraining order. You don't need one. And I explain to them how to go to the courthouse. There's different satellite offices or different satellite courthouses in Miami and Broward County that you can go on your own without an attorney and file a restraining order and call 911. That's the first thing you need to do. And then file a restraining order, protect yourself, and make sure that you have some evidence, because that will be helpful in court when you go for the hearing.
So they call 911, all right? They can get some direction and some help with that. And there may be some social service agencies that might be able to hold their hand and walk them through, perhaps.
Absolutely. And many people don't know that it is free to file a restraining order for an injunction. You don't need an attorney. You will have a hearing. So for that, I do recommend for you to hire an attorney. And there are many organizations that will assign an attorney at low cost or for free. The organization that I volunteer for, No More Tears, you can call them and ask them through the intake process if they will take your case and assign it to an attorney. But there are many agencies that will help you with an attorney for free, or just information, because knowledge is power and knowledge can save a life. So when I tell my clients, or I tell the people that I'm helping, these are the hours, this is the location, this is what they're looking for in that petition, they're so thankful, because they didn't even know they had that option.
Yes. And they could go online and find things. If they needed to speak to somebody from the county, they could dial, I think, 211.
Yes.
And be able to get some help there. So you went to high school locally.
I did.
Where'd you go to school?
I graduated from Miami-Jackson Senior High School.
That's on 36th Street?
36th Street and 17th Avenue in the Alapata neighborhood.
And I understand that the superintendent. The old superintendent, is now in the Los Angeles area. He went to school there too.
He was my biology teacher,
Oh,
my
come
10th
on.
grade biology teacher, and my sister, I think 11th grade chemistry teacher.
Okay. Inquiring minds want to know, did he wear this perfectly fitting suit then?
No, he did not. He was very young. He was very young when he was my teacher. And right after that, the mayor of Aventura, Ian Weisman, was my principal. So I had the honor to know both of them many years ago. Close to 30 years. 30 years ago, almost.
So in the 60s, my father worked at a radio station right down the street from Jackson. And it was on actually where WMI and WEDR are now.
Really?
And so I used to walk down there as a kid, go over there. I'd go to the Royal Castle, the pet shop. And back then, the owner of one of the stations had a pony ranch, and they would invite all the black kids to come over and ride on the horses, the ponies, right on that corner. I still have pictures.
So that was 36th Street?
36th Street, yeah.
And what avenue, do you remember?
It was 3 blocks from Jackson. I remember I'm this big, right? And then that area is getting better all the time. And there was a guy named Jack O'Brien. This Jack O'Brien Municipal Auto Sales on Northwest 36th Street. He slapped that car. They would do commercials. So 36th Street is rich in history.
It is.
So we know that a lot of lawyers volunteer to do cases for free. And there's some that have won some pretty big cases, people that have been exonerated because of new DNA evidence. But there are people, if they need an attorney, they could try the Legal Aid Society if they don't have money, right? They could do that. And even within some firms, they take on some cases for free.
Yes.
What is some of the factors that say, I'm going to donate my time to this particular case because it is what?
Well, for me personally, because it depends. If I see that the person is very low income, really needs the help, is referred from one of the agencies that I help, or it's something personal that I really, really want to help them because I see that if I don't help them, it could destroy their life. So it's a personal choice for me. Attorneys are required by the Florida Bar to do a certain amount of hours or contribute a certain amount of hours of pro bono work per year. And you have to certify that you contributed pro bono hours or donated funds. And so we do have an excellent program, the Put Something Back program through the Legal Aid Society, that if you're looking for an attorney to help you out for free, you have to go to their office, either online or physically go to the downtown office in Miami and fill out an application, complete an application, say, this is my income, this is my situation, I need to have an attorney assigned for me. And they will review your case and determine whether or not they can assign you an attorney for free through the Put Something Back program. Unfortunately, they're unable to help everyone.
Right. So in South Miami, there's a Reverend Bill Green, big black guy. He had lost both his legs to diabetes, so he had these extra couple inches. He said to me, and he had a church in the poor area. He said to me, Michael, do you know who gets Habitat for Humanity homes? I said, who? He says, it starts with filling out the forms. If they can't fill out the form, they're not going to get it. Right. So part of this is they got to start the process. Somebody walk them through, or they can Legal Aid Society, they can go online, find it, or ask a friend, or call somebody they know that knows an attorney, say, where can I go to get that? And these cases are so significant for a lot of these people because if they don't get help, they're gone. They lose whatever they were fearful of losing.
Yes.
Because nobody's on the other side, fighting for them to keep or to get whatever that is. So my hat's off to you for donating your time.
What I do recommend, Michael, is even if you cannot afford an attorney, at least get a consultation. Many attorneys offer a free consultation, and you can go to the Florida Bar website and click on Lawyer Referral Service for a free consultation. Because if you don't know what your rights are, if you ignore a lawsuit, if you've been served and you ignore it, it can literally affect your rights, your property, your liberty, your children. And so at least get a consultation, find out how much it's going to cost you. But if you ignore it, that could be a lot worse.
Yes. So speaking of children, you have a few yourself?
Yes, I have 2 children.
Okay. And how old are they?
13 and 16.
Oh, if they're not proud of you yet, they will be.
Thank you. They are. They
so
are.
You've spent as an adult state attorney's office. All right. You volunteer a lot of organizations. All right. To help people that need help the most. We got 2 minutes left. All right. People can find out lots about you by going to your website. Right.
Yes.
They just put in your name, Barbara Guerrero. All right.
Well, actually, no. My website is www.brendaforjudge.com, and my Instagram is @BrendaForJudge. They can go into that and find out.
Absentee ballots. You on that absentee ballot?
Yes, my name will be on the ballot, just like the other judges that are candidates as well, and they will be mailed out this week, I believe.
Right.
The vote by mail.
All right. That's vote by mail. That's going out to people. And the final day of that election is
August 23rd.
Okay. So after August 23rd, what happens?
Then you find out that night if you won or not.
Is that over? It's over on the 23rd?
It should be
25th.
It should be over on the 23rd at
23rd.
night.
I'm sorry.
At night.
There's no November for you.
No.
So
no
this is
November.
it.
This is it.
All right. There's no November stuff. So
no.
All right. And fortunately, with vote by mail, it's easier to vote. All right. My recommendation is when you get it, fill it out immediately and mail it. Don't let it sit around, because it sits around, it goes underneath the pile.
And you forget.
All right. And by the way, people can track it. I was able to track it because I thought I couldn't remember whether I mailed it. Called up. Yes, you did, Mr. Miller. Lordy B, somebody checking up.
That's good.
So it's wonderful. Again, we have 1 minute left. What I'd like you to do is to look into which camera? The right. Which color? Blue?
Yeah, blue.
Look in the blue camera and talk to some young person about doing things for themselves and for the community.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview with you today, community newspapers. I am honored to run as a candidate for Circuit Court Judge in Miami-Dade. The election is on August 23rd. Early voting is from August 8th to August 21st, and the vote by mail should be going out this week. I urge you to find out about the candidates, to get involved in the judicial election, because judges make important decisions in your lives that affect your life, affect your family lives, affect your friends' lives. It's also very important to get involved with your community, helping out your community, and just finding out about different ways, different programs, whatever motivates you to help out in the community, because it's important to be able to assist others. I grew up in this community. I'm part of this community, and I want to be a judge because I want to make a bigger impact in the lives of others. I'm very blessed to be endorsed by many elected leaders and by the South Florida Council of Firefighter and by AFSCME, which is the local union for the general workers. And I hope that you honor me with your vote on August 23rd. Thank you very much.
Wow. Miss Brenda, congratulations. We wish you the best of good luck.
Thank you very
and what
much,
a terrific
Michael.
smile.
Thank you.
Folks, again, this is Live with Miami's Communities. Check her out, right? And make sure you vote for the candidate of your choice. Thanks and have a good day.